Okay, we are back from our brief sponsorship-ish break. Appreciate y'all holding on for us. So I have one more thing that I wanted to get into with D. June as he's coughing all into the mic. Come on, man.
My surgery.
Sorry. Just got to give you a little shit. But you know, we talked about the acceptance in that process that you were going through, and I called you a bit of a control freak because I know that you are. So now, again, we're more so.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, you are. Just don't fight it. You are, and it's okay. We do all right as control freaks. You know what I'm saying? we keep things in order. You know, we keep things flowing nice and smooth. It may be
somebody got to be in charge.
Right. You know, it may be some chaos, but as control freaks, we tend to know how to step right in.
See, you call it control. I call it being in charge.
There's a difference between, because not all control freaks are leaders. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So that's what I'm saying.
That is so freaking true. That is so true.
So I mean, we got a good shot at being damn good leaders. But there's some of us that no, we just,
because when you're in the military, somebody is always in charge.
Yep.
And somebody is always at fault.
Yeah. Every time. Every time.
Me, when I first came home, me and Jessica used to butt heads all the time. Like anything, like it could be the most minute, like and we always this is the default example that we go to.
Yeah.
The cap being left off the toothpaste.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean that would. If I was David Banner, that would make me turn into the Incredible Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know exactly what you're saying because I'm the same way.
Like, oh my God, but who did this?
Yeah. Like
somebody did this.
Right.
And when I catch him, I'm going to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and her, we butted heads a lot because I'm like, it's somebody's fault.
Right.
Everything bad that happens, somebody is to blame for it.
Yeah. It doesn't just happen.
It don't just happen. You know what I'm saying? I still believe that.
There was a trigger.
Somebody, like, if I fall out this window right now, something happened.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
It ain't like, magic.
Whenever our kids or DJ come, whenever something, what happened?
That's right.
What caused this, son?
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, me being in the military 6 years, it probably took twice as long for me to shed that. I'm serious, man. It takes a long time to shed that armor off. And
right.
Me and her, man, we butted heads a lot with a lot of stupid stuff, man, that could have been prevented. That's little stuff like that used to trigger, used to make me angry. And used to keep me angry for days at a time, man.
Yeah.
And I just had to learn how to control that and just like get over it. Like, yeah.
Now see, and this ain't got to do with my question, but just thinking about that, I always hear whether it's people that's been in prison for a long time or people that's been in military for a long time. Mm-hmm. Once you're quote unquote free, it's that getting yourself back into the world of civilization. You know, there's that transition period. Some people flourish, some people just totally flop, and they go off the deep end. So you flop.
I flop. Yeah, I flop big time.
And where do you put that? Is that
I put it all on
the
me.
Military's problem? Is it the soldiers' problem? You know, where does that fall? Because I would assume the military has something in place to help get you ready
They
go
do,
back?
but I didn't take it seriously.
Okay.
Instead of going to some of the classes, I'd be back in the bed asleep, preparing to get out and stuff like. I was just like, man, I'm getting out. I'm just gonna go back to Gastonia and I'll figure shit out when I get there.
All right. And of course, that blew up in your face.
Yeah, royally. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just needed to grow up.
Yeah.
But I just didn't. I don't know, man. Just my whole thinking process, and dude, it took me. I'm 39 right now, man. It took me going through a lot, man. A lot of depression, a lot of dealing with a lot of mental shit, man, to come to the place that I am like right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It took a lot to get to where I am right now, to where I can talk about mental illness, to where I'm comfortable sharing stuff, to where, because everybody goes through something, man.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Anybody can put on a front and act like, oh, I'm this big, bad, tough guy. I'm cool. Nothing bothers me. Anybody can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
And
especially this day and age of social media, everybody's rough and tough and got it all together and shit.
Yeah. But I got to a point where I went through some stuff personally with my family and stuff, to where, you know, God stripped everything, like stripped me down, like stripped everything. You know what I'm saying? To where I had to step back and evaluate everything and everybody in my life and
figure out what priorities were and things like that.
Figure out what the hell am I doing, man? Like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? What am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just in this perpetual cycle of just being here. I don't want to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do something else. It's something more here than just existing. Like, I don't want to do that. And when I hear about people that are dealing with mental health issues, it strikes a nerve with me, because in 2019, a lot of this stuff can be prevented, man.
Yeah.
If we just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to talk about it, though. Especially in the black community, boy. Yeah. Especially in the black community. Like, it's like, man, you a bitch, or you a punk, or get over it. Or,
and none of that has changed, apparently.
I don't think it has. Like, yeah, I don't think it has.
Now, the last question I wanted to ask, trying to think how I want to put this. So this day and age, at least here in this area, Gaston County proper, whatever, in the last 3-4 years, there have been tons and tons of just ridiculous stories of child suicide. Okay. And a lot of people are blaming social media and this and that, or what have you, blaming social media, blaming bullying and things of that nature. But I can't say that I saw in any of those reports that someone took the time to even assess what was going on with those kids before this happened, even if they even noticed anything. You know, did that child have some sort of depression that they were dealing with? It had nothing to do with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything like that. You know, and it just made me wonder what is happening in the hallways of the school, because it's not the same as it was when you and I walked through the halls. You know, we were chasing at the girls and this and that or whatever, but the last thing we was thinking about was likes and stuff like that. So with you having daughters right there in the middle of the school now, it's a little different in the female world as a teenager. It's crazy vicious on a social standpoint. I mean, it's cutthroat. Okay. So when have you been able to sit down with your daughters in particular and say, look, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I've been going through for umpteen years or what have you. And this is serious business. This is not something to be laughed at. This is the life that I live, the life that I am managing, and have you been able to sit down and have that talk with them about mental health and be able to assess what their thoughts are? Because again, teenagers this day and age, they can read about mental health and this and that, and everybody lives in hashtags and whatnot, but do they really get it? Because it could be, I hate saying it like this, but it could be a fad for kids that age. Have you talked to them? What was their thoughts on it, if you care to share that, and if they're dealing with it in school? Because who knows, maybe they went to school and said, yeah, my father suffers from PTSD. Are their friends accepting of them sharing information like that with them and so on, from a social standpoint?
One thing that me and Jessica are very proud of, we don't keep anything from our kids.
Okay.
Our kids, we're open books. We share a lot of stuff with our girls. Our girls know about my struggles with PTSD, with the war, all of that kind of stuff. We talk very openly with our girls about all that. Jayla, she's all June. She's not gonna show any emotion. She's not gonna go to school telling anybody any kind of family secrets or showing any kinks in the arm or anything like that. Jazz, she'll ask me questions. She'll, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Jamie, I'm not sure if she fully understands, but if they have questions, they've had issues with bullying before. They've been on both sides of it. They've had friends to be on both sides of it.
Yep. You mind sharing their ages?
Jayla is 17. She'll be 18 in November. Jazz is 15. She'll be 16 in August.
They are in the thick of that stuff right now, man.
Jamie is 12. She'll be 13 in October. And girls are, bro, you dodged a bullet with that one.
Yeah, bro. It's tough. It is tough.
And a lot of times I tell because Jessica's, she does a great job of keeping up their social media, following them on the phones and with the GPS and all that. And a lot of times I tell her, hey man, I don't have to know everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some stuff, just you let me know when it get to a certain point. Like I don't have to know everything.
Right. And I'm the same way, but at the same time, I have to try to be cognizant of the malicious side that's out there and the predatorial side of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. It's I got bullied a lot in elementary, a lot, which I've never mentioned that to my kids or my wife. This is like the first time I'm saying this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I've had to bring it up to my boys several times over the years.
Yeah, I've never mentioned that to my kids. I don't think I have, but I got bullied a lot because a lot of the dudes didn't like me because I made straight A's, and I was, for the majority of the time I was in elementary school, I was the fastest dude in the class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
that's social status.
That's because I don't know how they lump it now in elementary school.
Right.
But back in the 80s, in the 90s, that's what it was. If you was the fastest, that was the end all be all.
You had status then.
Yeah.
You might even be able to get a girlfriend.
Yeah, if you was the fastest, that was it. Like me and me and Travis we were texting back and forth last week, and he was saying some stuff. Was like, your parents always kept you, fresh. You was always fresh. I always kept a fresh cut and nice shoes and all. And I always did have all that stuff, and I didn't understand until maybe a year or so ago, 2 years ago, through therapy, of course, that a lot of kids that I went to school with, they didn't have two parents that worked. They didn't have a daddy that worked at Duke Power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They didn't have a mama that worked at Wix.
Right.
You
the
know
prominent employers of the area.
Exactly. I didn't understand that when I was a kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I'm coming to school with brand new Bo Jacksons on with the 34 on the back, you know what I'm saying? With the crispy Bugle Boy jeans on some belts.
Gosh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not understanding that this is maybe why these children are not liking me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just now realizing that when I'm an adult. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that did something to me back then. Like, I'm not a bad kid. Like, why don't these kids like me?
All right.
You know what I'm saying? They really not like me because I can read
right
at a 5th grade level, and we're in the 5th grade.
Right.
Like, really? You don't like me because of that?
Right. So you can think back to points of having some type of discomfort because those kids didn't like you. You can think back that far back.
I can think back a lot of points. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is very, very unfortunate.
But I didn't, like I said, and I didn't understand that as a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you coming in and you haven't had a new pair of shoes all school year, and you see me come in and I got the last 2 pair of Jordans that's done come out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that as a 12-year-old kid.
Right.
That maybe you feel some kind of animosity towards me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but yeah, that looking back on it, that did a lot to me. And without going to therapy, I would never knew that. Without going to therapy, without opening up, without embracing my mental health issues, I would have never realized this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my thing with mental health awareness is embrace it. It ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? And it's stop running from it. Somebody got it's something. I'm not even gonna say it's something wrong with all of us. It's something different about everybody.